Welcome to the Orange County Department of Education Virtual College Fair and the Health and Medical Professions session. We're very excited to have you all with us here today. We have some great institutions presenting. My name is Christopher and I will be facilitating this session. Before we get started with our presentations, just a few quick housekeeping items to go over. The first is that a reminder that your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. Attendees are welcome and certainly encouraged to ask questions to any of the panelists at any time utilizing the Q&A feature. You can pose your question to a specific institution, or you can ask a general question to any and all of the institutions. Also, there is one other block of sessions this evening, so if you haven't signed up for those yet, please do feel free to do so. And also, a recording of this session will be available at strivescan.com/COSI. Without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter this evening. And up first, we're going to hear from the University of Southern Maine.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm about to share my screen. My name is PJ Singh. So thank you for joining us tonight. My name is PJ Singh, Senior Associate Director of Admissions at University of Southern Maine. And I'm hoping that University of Southern Maine will be an option for you to find yourself here and, as our slide says, excel here. If you're looking for an environment that will challenge you both intellectually and with different perspectives, USM can provide that educational option for you, or that opportunity. We're one of the most, if not the most, diverse institution in Maine by ethnicity, by student type. We have veterans, adult student learners, international students, and much more that you can be exposed to. Some quick facts for you. 8,500 students, both in the undergraduate and graduate level. So you can see that we're sort of the small/medium size school, but despite that, we have the 13:1 student to faculty ratio. So we try to keep it smaller for our students so they can get that one-on-one work with our faculty. 54 majors, 79 minors, 28 graduate degrees that include doctoral programs. The average GPA coming in for high school students in the last year was a 3.31, so a solid B+. And we're part of the public university system for Maine. So if you see a University of Maine at so-and-so, we're University of Southern Maine and cover the southern region, which I'll be going over very soon. We're unique in the fact that we have 3 campuses, and I'll describe those to you shortly. And one quick fact is that we have over 400 host sites, clinicals, and I'll touch on that in just a second. So to give you a geographic idea of where we are located, you can see the city of Portland, which is the city of Maine. We have Gorham, which is about 20 minutes from Portland. And both those campuses are sort of the main campuses. And then we have a campus in Lewiston, which is about 30 minutes from Portland, about 40 to 45 from Gorham. So what's unique about these 3 campuses is that there are services at each of them that you will be exposed to. So academic departments that are unique to each campus: nursing, social work, business in Portland, music, theater, arts, an engineering program in Gorham, for instance. And then the Masters of Occupational Therapy is in Lewiston with a cohort of nursing as well. Student resources such as an admissions office, library, IT services, and advising, financial aid can be found on each campus and is available to every student. If you're interested in competing at the collegiate level in sports, that is on our Gorham campus. We are NCAA Division III. I also serve as one of the assistants on the men and women's soccer team. Used to be and still am a coach and work with soccer. But 22 different teams. We compete in the Little East Conference, and very successful teams earning accolades from the NCAA as well as for volunteering too. So if you're looking to be a good student athlete, USM, it's a great option again. Residence halls are in Gorham right now, 6 residence halls, but coming very soon, we'll have a brand new residence hall in Portland as well. So your academic experience is not just about what you do in the classroom, it's about what you do outside of it too. So you'll have your first couple years with the core curriculum, your major minor courses, your internships, study abroad, which I highly recommend, research and honors. And most of our honors students do get to experience a free trip overseas, doing work and research. So we want you to experience not only the classroom, but the real world, so that you know that what you're studying is something that you actually want to do. Tuition and fees, a quick breakdown for you. Out-of-state students, it's right around $35,000 a year, and that includes all tuition, room and board fees, books and supplies. And that does not include scholarships, which range from 12 to 30 million every year, up to 12,000 merit-based, and additional donor scholarships are available for students. So multiple different types of students that apply to USM, but the main items I would tell you is that the Common App or main application are free. We are test optional, which means we are not requiring any students to submit any SATs or ACTs. We do need an official high school transcript or dual enrollment college transcript to make a decision. Anything above a 3.0 earns you a very lucrative scholarship from USM, and I would highly recommend that you look into this. I mentioned earlier that we're building new dorms, so this is a sneak peek into it. The Portland Commons will be introduced in fall 2023, building to be completed in May 2023, as well as in the top corner, you can see a brand new student and career center will be built next to it. Thank you very much for your time. You can actually take a picture of the screen and connect with us, and I will share my information in the chat with everyone later. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, University of Southern Maine. Up next, we're going to hear from Washington and Jefferson College.
Hello, hi everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. My name is Marlinda Dowdy. I'm an Assistant Director of Admission here at W&J. I'm going to share my screen here with you in a second and we'll get started. All right, so W&J, it's where change makers get their start. That's what we like to say. First off, we want you to explore W&J, whether you look at the website, talk to an admission counselor, talk with a student, whoever you talk to, however you get to know about us, just explore. There's so much to offer on such a tiny little campus. So where is W&J? We are located in Washington, Pennsylvania. We're just 30 minutes from the airport. So out-of-state students, really easy to get home because you can get right to the airport. And if you have to fly out or fly in, we can always get you a ride to the airport, from the airport, whatever it is, we've got you. We're 30 miles south of Pittsburgh. So another opportunity there for students to take advantage of internships, research, or if you just want to go out and explore the city, there's a lot that we offer in that city. I myself lived there for like 5 years, and there are still places when I go there that I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't know this was here. It's a fun city. So if you haven't been able to come to Pittsburgh anytime, I definitely recommend. So at W&J, we're very small, like I said. We have about 1,200 students, and just under 1,200 students on campus. So it gives us a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. 80% or more of your classes are going to have fewer than 20 students. 40% of those students that are on campus, they do participate in a travel experience each year. So you don't just get to do one or, one in your senior year. You can take advantage of those travel abroad opportunities all 4 years. And we do have a 4-year on-time graduation guarantee if you follow our curriculum, or else that 5th year is on us. So that's a big thing to say. 34 majors, 35 minors. I'll leave this up just for a second, but if you are interested, please reach out to us, get to know what we offer. We're really big on pre-law and especially pre-health. We have occupational therapy, physical therapy, physician assistance program, dentistry, veterinary medicine, And we also have education, so different teacher certifications. And we just added University of Pittsburgh to our partners with the engineering programs, which we offer 3.2 and 3.3s. Again, study abroad, can't talk about it enough. It's a great experience. I've learned from a lot of students about a lot of different places they've gone, and just to hear their stories and see their expression on their face, they just light up about what they were able to experience. We help fund these trips, all of them, whether they're short-term or long-term or something that you choose yourself, which is our Magellan Project. It's an independent learning experience. You get to pick where you go, when you go in the summer months, how long you're there, what you're studying, whether it's academic related or just something that you're really interested in. We are Division III for sports. So if you're an athlete, please get in touch with our coaches. They love hearing from students who are interested in playing a sport. Other than sports, we have campus life. So over 80 clubs and organizations. We have Greek life, intramural sports, very diverse population here at W&J, even though we are such a small school. We also have performing arts. So for those of you involved in theater and band, anything like that. Residence life, so there's 28 residence hall. We have different types of living, so co-ed, there's you can do same gender dorms, there's suite style living. We have a pet dorm, which is super attractive. So when students come to visit campus, they're like, I can't believe you have that. Like, they usually pick us over another school that they're like, you know, top 2 because of the pet dorm. But there's other themed communities as well on campus. So at W&J, we really have a big support team behind every single student. You have a link mentor, an advisor, maybe 2 advisors all throughout 4 years. And we really help you to start your career even before you step foot off of campus, even before you're ready to graduate. We want you to be professionally ready in all areas of your life, not just for a career, but also who you are as an individual. We want that to shine through. These are a lot of our outcomes, but the most important to note is the 97% of graduates were employed or continued their education within 6 months of graduation. And that was just noted back in 2019 from that class. But there's other statistics here that really show how well we work with our students and how successful they are. So how do you become a president? We're on the Common App. You can apply with our leadership application. Super easy, it's free. Our accepted student profile, as you can see, SAT, ACTs, unweighted GPA is what we take, and that will get you your scholarships. So no need to submit anything but your transcript and an application. Show some interest in W&J, and here's the cost of attendance. So it's about $63,464, but like I mentioned, those scholarships, we look for higher GPAs unweighted. The scholarships range from $24,000 to $34,000 per year, up to 4 years. And you also, being an out-of-state student, would get a $2,000 visit grant, whether you visit virtual or in person. If you happen to know an alum, they might write a referral for you. So that's another $1,000. All of that adds up, and that $63,464 really doesn't sound like such a big number after you get so much off. Why W&J? It's a great small community in an area that you meet so many students. A lot of people that are from Pittsburgh tend to go away, but they come back. And there's a lot of people that have moved to Pittsburgh from all over the world. So you meet so many different students, and they come from all different areas in the country. I, for one, have students from the West Coast and the East Coast, and some of those students become best friends. They find their roommates and a great friend at W&J. And these 2 right here, Kira and Alessandro, 2 great students at W&J, and they're just 2 students out of 100 and hundreds more that would share their experience with you. But that is all. Thank you so much. I will drop my information in the chat. If anyone has questions, please reach out.
Thank you, W&J. As we transition to our next presenter, just a reminder to all of our attendees, please do feel free to utilize that Q&A feature to ask questions to any of the panelists at any time. But up next, we're going to hear from the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy.
Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? I am Sarah. I am with the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy in St. Louis, Missouri. And if you've never heard of St. Louis before, that is okay. We're over in the Midwest, not too far from Chicago and Nashville. So I have some photos to share to show you a little bit what downtown St. Louis looks like. That is the Gateway Arch right there on the right-hand side, which is a national monument. Really beautiful downtown area we have. We are located in Central West End, which is this picture right here. It is a neighborhood in St. Louis City, and our university is a little to the right of this photo. And this is a photo I took on our campus on the 3rd floor of our academic research building. We are looking at our student and recreation center, and the top 3 floors of that building are dorm halls for our 1st year and 2nd year students. And this is actually some photos of what it looks like on the inside. And I always tell people, you know, it may look Photoshopped, but it's not. It actually is that nice. And I always get very jealous of the students that live there. So those are little photos about us, but a little bit more about who we are as an institution. Our enrollment right now is 998. So we usually are around 1,000 students. And that just means that our student faculty ratio is around 10:1. So class sizes don't generally are about 15 students, so they don't get much bigger than that. So if you're looking for a smaller institution, we'd be a really great fit for you. Our 1st year student profile looks a little bit like 24 to 29 ACT score. The SAT equivalent is 1150 to 1350, around there. We have a 3.69 GPA average as well. We have 14 undergraduate majors, which are right here as shown. You'll notice that some of them have asterisks after them. Those are still getting accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, but we hope to see those rolling in soon as they get approved. But we have pathways into medicine, nursing, pharmacy, even pathways into law and education. So there's plenty of different options in going into the healthcare field and even beyond that as well. But all of these undergraduate majors have that healthcare lens onto it. We also have some graduate studies and advanced opportunities. We just added 2 master's programs this fall, one in global health and equity and the other in medicinal chemistry. And then we have some advanced opportunities that are in partnership with local universities, like our dental medicine partnership. We have an MBA partnership as well. And then we have an OT and a PT, occupational therapy and physical therapy partnership with Washington University School of Medicine, which is right next to our campus. They're basically touching. And then of course, we have our pharmacy pathways. We've been doing pharmacy for a very long time. We used to be named St. Louis College of Pharmacy until we recently changed our name to the University of Health Sciences. And that's because we've been doing pharmacy for 150 plus years, since 1856. And we have a couple options for undergrad students as seen right here, a 6-year and a 7-year pathway. So the benefit of being such a small school is that we get to have individualized focus and attention for our students when it comes to academic support. We have advising available and coaching, as well as peer tutoring available for our students. We have a writing center and a career services center for any support you need on papers or in writing resumes or cover letters, anything like that. We also have a counseling center, 2 certified counselors. That is a free service for our students. We have an international student center and an office of diversity and inclusion as well. So the fun part is we are an NAIA athletics university. So as you can see, this is a list of all of our athletics teams. Starting with men's baseball and down, those are our new teams for fall 2022. So we would love for you to join our ranks as we get those new teams rolling in. And there are some scholarships available as well if you are a student athlete, and I can connect you with a coach if you want. But if you're not into athletics, that's okay, because we have 60 plus organizations on our campus, including the American Sign Language Club and Doctors Without Borders student organization. And we have some intramural and club sports, a performing arts center, and then community service projects and opportunities as well. So a little bit about our application. We have no application fees and we have a holistic review process. And that just means that when we get your applications in, we do not just look at grades. There's no GPA minimum. We like to look at you as a full person. So we'll take into consideration all of your application materials. We are test optional. So I mentioned those ACT scores and those SAT scores. So if you're in that range, that's great. If you're above that range, that's even better. You do not have to include any test scores if you do not want to, or if it doesn't reflect who you are as a student in your opinion. but you can if you would like. It would only be another application material that we will consider. Once you're applying, you're admitted, you get an academic merit scholarship. And if you're a student athlete, you will also get considered for an athletic scholarship as well. And that'll be between $3,000 and $21,000. For early decision, our deadline is December 1st, and for regular decision, it's March 1st. So some deadlines to keep in mind. And then a quick QR code for our preview date on November 4th. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy. Up next, we're going to hear from Washington College.
Hello, everyone. I'll share my screen really quick. All right. So Washington College is a small private liberal arts college in Chestertown, Maryland, over on the eastern shore of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. We are a cute little charming downtown area in a pretty rural area with a lot of access to some larger cities. So we're about an hour and a half to 2 hours from anywhere in DC, Baltimore, and Philly. So because of that, students take advantage of those for just fun with friends, but they also take advantage of those for internships. So we have partnerships with places like the Smithsonian, National Aquarium, all kinds of places. We have 3 campuses. The one that you're seeing now is the main campus. This is what you think of when you think of a typical college campus. Most of the academic buildings and things are there. The other 2 are especially good for people who are interested in environmental science. River and Field campus is a bunch of natural land for different research opportunities and internships for environmental science. The Waterfront campus also has our environmental science research hall, but it also has our boathouse. So students who pass a swim test can all take out a boat onto the river. We are on the Chester River, which is a tributary to the Chesapeake Bay. So it's about a 5-minute drive or 10 to 15-minute walk. So some statistics. We have about 1,100 students from 11 different countries. 3% are international students, and about a quarter identify as students of color. So because of that small school size, we have an average class size of about 12 and a student to faculty ratio of about 9 to 1. So you're going to get that individual attention from your professors. You're going to get to know them pretty well. It's a tight-knit community. The bottom fact right here too, 99% of our faculty have the terminal degree in their field. So you're going to get to know those professors really well, and you're going to know that they have a lot of knowledge about their content area. We also have 80+ student-run clubs and organizations, Division III varsity athletics, club and intramural sports, fraternities and sororities, honor societies for your major. Hopefully within all this, something for everybody. 68% of our students conduct an internship while they're at Washington College. A lot of the students will do more than one. We're really big on experiential learning, getting people out of the classroom and applying what they're learning in the classroom. So 90% of our students of the class of 2019 were either employed or they were continuing their education within 9 months of graduation. So with this one and the last one, the Center for Career Development helps a lot with those, getting people into those internships. It can turn into jobs, helping with resume skills, helping with interview skills. Here is all of our majors, minors, concentrations, etc. So we are a liberal arts college, so nobody will take anything, nobody will take just classes within their major. In terms of health professions, we do have a 3+2 nursing program with University of Maryland, so you can sort of get the small school feel and the big school feel. In terms of pre-health professions programs, we have a different separate advisor for all of these different programs: pre-allied health, pre-med, pre-nursing, pre-pharmacy, and we also have pre-vet. So there's someone to help you figure out what classes you need to take, what sort of difference, what grades you need to get, how do you apply for this kind of thing. We also have partnerships with Georgetown University in DC and also Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. So we have 5 pillars at Washington College that sort of underlie everyone's education. The written word is, it's a great place to be if you want to be a writer, but if you're not, even if you don't want to be a writer, you're still going to graduate with proficiency in writing. This is something that students have come back and said they really appreciated, that they've been able to learn how to be effective communicators. So this is the writing system is going to culminate in a senior capstone experience, which is a heavy example of writing in your major, about 30 to 50 pages. So basically a graduate level thesis in an undergraduate environment. So onto environment. Environmental action is a really big thing. So like I said, we're so close to Chesapeake Bay. It's a very big sort of thing that we're conscious of. It's one of our biggest majors, environmental science, but even if you're not going to be studying that, you might enjoy our permaculture garden, walking through, learning how to forage and compost. You might take a class in environmental science. We use 100% green energy, so it's sort of a big part of our culture. History informing the future is a big thing for us too. There's a lot of history at Washington College. We were founded in 1782, so we are the oldest college in Maryland, the 10th oldest in the country, and the first one founded after the Declaration of Independence. So George Washington helped found us. He actually gave some money to help found us. He gave his signature, which you're going to see on basically everything we have. He gave us his name, and he also sat on the first board of visitors and governors. So he was sort of a big part of the decision-making process of the college too. Our fourth pillar is learning without limits. So like I said, getting people into experiential learning, getting them to sort of do internships, do field work, study abroad is a big thing too. We have 30 partner universities that we send students to. And our last pillar is meaningful connections. So like I said, it's a small school. You're going to get to know the people you're with really well. Very tight-knit community. You're going to have professors multiple times. I would say the college is, it's big enough you'll never know everybody, but it's small enough you always know somebody. Even if you walk into a class the first day, small class size, you're going to get to know the people in it and the professor really well. So our application, we use the common application. There's no fee to apply, and we are test optional. We've been test optional for quite a while, so we're pretty familiar with how that process works. The top dates are the deadlines to get your application in, and the bottom dates are our deadline to get your application back to you, to give you your admittance letter and also your financial aid package. So, for example, if you turn in your application by December 1st, we will get your notification to you by January 15th. This is the one I recommend the most often because it lines up best with our scholarship deadlines. So those are mostly due in March. You have to know that you're admitted first to apply to them. So if you know by January 15th, you've got plenty of time to work on those applications. Also, admission is rolling. So typically you'll never wait really more than a month or so before you know if you're admitted. All right, I've got some pictures here I'm going to slide through really quick, and then I will be done. Some campus life. Here's the whole campus. Thank you so much. And I'll put my information in the chat.
Thank you very much, Mashinka. Now we're going to move to Newcastle University.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. My name is Thomas Day, and as you can probably tell from my accent, I am not American, and nor do I work for an American university. I represent Newcastle University, which is in England. We are based in the heart of Newcastle upon Tyne, which is a lively, friendly, and most important student city here on the northeast coast of England. We're approximately 3 hours train ride north of London, which is the gold star in the southeast there, or you can fly directly from Newcastle Airport in under 55 minutes. You can also fly to 80 different destinations across Europe and the Middle East from Newcastle Airport as well. So it's a great place to base yourselves, not only to get to know the UK, but also to be able to travel around Europe. Newcastle is often ranked as one of the best places to study in the UK, and we're actually also one of the top 50 best student cities in the whole world. We are also one of the most affordable student cities in the UK. And despite being compact, you can get pretty much everywhere on foot within about 20 to 30 minutes. There's still lots to do and see. We're also surrounded by beautiful nature. To the northwest and south, we've got some wonderful countryside, and out to the east, just 20 minutes away by metro, you can have access to some wonderful beaches. The city itself and the wider region is also home to some fantastic architecture. The northeast of England actually has more castles than any other region in the country. And this is just some of the wonderful sites and places that you can visit in the city and in the wider region. We are very lucky that our campus is based at the heart of the city, but still offers a campus feel. So most of our teaching facilities and student facilities and also accommodation is based on campus in where one of the two golden shapes are there. And then the city centre is highlighted there in the grey rectangle. You can see how physically close we are, but you don't have to go miles between your classes. They are all based in one location. So it's the best of both worlds, really. This is our campus. It's the heart of our campus. That's the Student Union building in the foreground there. The history of the university dates back to the 1830s. So we do have a long history, and that's represented in a lot of our buildings. But at the same time, we also have lots of modern facilities on campus, including, for example, the National Centre for Data and Innovation, which is the top left building there on those pictures. In terms of our reputation, we are ranked in the top 150 universities in the world. To put that into perspective for you, we rank ahead of UC Santa Barbara, UC Irvine, Texas A&M, Arizona State, UMass Amherst, Northeastern, Georgetown, and a number of other American institutions. And in the UK, we are in the top 20 universities, as with 13 of our subjects actually ranking in the top 10. We're also a founding member of something called the Russell Group, which most people refer to as the UK version of the Ivy League. We have a fantastic track record of employability amongst our students. And in terms of what we offer, well, we have 27,000 students studying with us from over 120 different nationalities. Across our 3 faculties, we have 200 bachelor's degree programs and 300 master's and PhD programs. Just going to focus on the Faculty of Medical Sciences for today's presentation. You can see there the different courses that we offer within medical sciences. So just to give you an example of what that looks like in terms of actual majors, well, we have food and human nutrition, and you can see some of the careers that that would lead into. We've got sport and exercise science, and we've got pharmacology. It's worth pointing out that most undergraduate degrees in the UK are only 3 years because there's no general education requirements. You just go straight into your major. Those three degrees could all lead on to getting a job, for example, like this one I've listed on the screen here with Lululemon as a research scientist. I also want to point out that professional degrees in the UK, medicine, dentistry, veterinary science and law, they are also available to study as undergraduate degrees, but they are longer than 3 years, obviously. So for example, medicine, you can do straight out of high school. You would do 5 years worth of study, and then you would do 2 years of foundation training, or those 2 years of foundation training could be done back in the US as a residency. And then you would be able to practice in the US, albeit with having to take 1 extra exam in order to have your qualification recognized. But we do have American students studying with us now, and we have American students who are working in the US successfully as doctors. There is an admissions exam you need to take, and you would also be expected to do APs or other types of advanced classes like honors classes. But in terms of cost, it's comparable to med school in the US, but don't forget you're not having to do a bachelor's degree, so you are saving yourself money and time. In terms of our other entry requirements, we're not test optional, but we are test flexible. It's explained on our website in more detail, but you can also ask myself for more information afterwards if you don't understand. Costs, bar things like medicine and veterinary dentistry, are often much cheaper than comparable institutions in the US, roughly speaking around $40,000 a year for tuition, room and board, but again, only 3 years, so you are also saving money because of the fact you're studying for less time. We do still have scholarships available though, and you can use federal loans, you can use private loans towards your fees and your living costs, as you would be able to if you are studying domestically in America. If that all sounds of interest, then there's lots more information on our website, our YouTube channel. We've got open houses or open days, as we call them, in person and online. And you can also contact a current student through the UniBuddy scheme. My email address is there. I'll put it into the chat box. And if you scan that QR code, you can also sign up for updates from the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Newcastle. And our final presentation this evening comes from Loyola University, New Orleans.
Thank you, Christopher. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. My name is Ricky Alarcon. I'm with Loyola University, New Orleans. And as I'm sharing my screen here, I am what they call a regional representative. I live in Dallas, Texas, but we do recruit students from all parts of the US, including Western United States, California. So welcome. Again, New Orleans, Loyola University, New Orleans is a small private Catholic institution located in the city of New Orleans, roughly about 3,000 students, 3,200 students call Loyola home. We offer about 119 different academic programs. We are a private Catholic institution, but again, you can see here from our breakdown of our class of fall 2021, we are very diverse, having students from all over the US and as well as students from international as well. But the female-male breakdown you can see there as well. So if you've never been to New Orleans, we are very, it's an eclectic, lively city. We love festivals at any time during the year. And actually our campus is located in neighborhood areas. So it's pretty quiet. We have Audubon Park, which is right across the street, which actually houses the local zoo. There's a golf course there. So it's this huge green space for our students to kind of relax either before or after class. I mentioned earlier, we are a Catholic Jesuit institution. Basically what that means is our foundation, some of our principles are men and women for and with others. So you'll hear that a lot when students attend here. Again, we're open to students from all faiths and backgrounds. But again, we encourage our students to kind of be part of something bigger, whether it's gaining great knowledge, whether it's making an influence in their community, being a game changer, an influencer when you leave here. That's what we want you to do. So here's our academic programs. We basically are divided into 3 different colleges. Most of the students will know us from the College of Music and Media. So of course, your traditional music programs, of course, jazz studies. We're here in New Orleans, you gotta have that. And then we have some programs that are hard to find. Our music industry studies, where students learn the business side of the music industry. For those composer, writers, beat makers, we have pop music, we have hip hop and R&B. So we do have a little bit of everything in that music and media. So film is also there, and theater. Number 2 is probably our School of Business. We do offer a lot of business programs. We are a port city. Trade is very common here. So again, accounting, economics, those are pretty popular programs. And then our arts and sciences, we have our sciences, biology, chemistry. We have a direct entry to nursing. We have biochem, forensic chemistry. So we can definitely you can study those subjects, but also if you want to go into medical school, we could definitely help you with that. 4 is psychology, 5 is criminology. So those are our top 5 areas. Again, criminology, I think it's because of, again, the social awareness, the social activism that we want our students to participate in. And another good thing about being a liberal arts school is that we want our students to double major at minors. So we do highly encourage students to, look to see other passions that you might have. And we will strongly encourage students, we can kind of build that degree plan for them. So if they're law school, which we do have a law school here, if you want to minor in that music program, we will help you with that. We offer an honors program for those students that are high achievers. Again, additional $5,000 honor scholarship for those students. And our class sizes are pretty small to begin with, but we definitely, with our honors program, definitely you'll work with a smaller group of students. Again, more of a discussion-based class setting instead of a lecture style, so more interaction from the students. And definitely they get some perks from housing to library access and all that fun stuff. Another thing we want to do to build your resume is to have that study abroad component. A lot of our students will study abroad, and there's a lot of opportunities to do that, whether it's a semester, a week long, maybe a summer or winter term, or a year long term. We can help you find that. So this last couple of minutes, I want to spend my time talking about admissions criteria. We are a test blind, test free. We don't look at test scores at our institution. So when students when I read students' applications and our committee read the applications, we're looking for the rigor. The GPA plays a big part of that. There is a letter of recommendation that's going to be required and an essay. With that, and then we look at your extracurriculars, we look at the whole body of work that the student has done, and so that will kind of determine their admissions, but also scholarships. So for students that are trying to apply early, November 15th is our early action deadline, especially for honors college. The honors program will have an early deadline December 1st. So for those students that want to be a part of the honors program, apply early, but we are also rolling. So those other deadlines will be applicable to those students. Merit scholarships, again, being a private school, people think, oh, the tuition is going to be very high. Well, we do offer some generous scholarships, starting at $14,000 a year to $23,000 a year. And, our honors program has additional scholarships. Students that are going to major in sociology, music, and then our athletics. We do offer Division I NAIA division sports. So for students that are athletes, definitely take a look at us because we can help you maybe possibly find additional scholarships. This is admissions for our music and media students. There might be a portfolio or interview requirement, and I can help you kind of figure that out. So with that being said, we do invite you to our campus. We are hosting tours virtually and in person. So I do invite you to come visit me and New Orleans. So I'll put my information on the chat and hand it over back to Christopher. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Loyola University, New Orleans. And thank you to all of our presenters today for your great overviews of your institutions. We do have some time remaining, so attendees, if you have any additional questions, please do feel free to send them through that Q&A feature. If I could ask all of our panelists to turn your videos back on, and we can do a round or two of questions here ourselves. And we'll go in that same order that we use for the presentations. And the first question I would have is, what advice would you have for someone going through the college search process? Starting with Southern Maine.
Heather, there's a lot of, my answer keeps changing every time, but I guess what I would say is to, so we're test optional. So I'm going to say, express yourself in the extracurricular activities. A lot of times I find that students don't share enough because they feel like they're overselling, overdoing it. I would say share as much as you can about what you're involved with. I've found some students who don't get involved in extracurricular activities because they've been working. That's okay. Let us know. We want to get to know you. I think everyone here said something about wanting to connect with students. So what better way to start than the application?
W&J.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. What advice do you have for someone going through the college search process?
Okay, so my advice, I was in these students' shoes before. Some of them maybe not, but I was a first generation. So even if you're not first generation, my advice is just get to know every single school as much as possible. If they approach you, if they reach out to you, just see what they're about. Talk to someone, just see if it's something you might want to do. Don't be afraid to look somewhere that you normally wouldn't look, because I kind of regret not looking at other schools. I went 15 minutes away from home, and now that I've graduated and I work for a college that's just a little further away from home, I see all these other schools. I'm able to travel around the country and I just see all the opportunities. So don't let something pass you up, and just don't be afraid to talk to people. Just reach out. We're all here to help you and help you through the process.
My advice for you as you go through the college process is not to, listen to other people, follow your own passions, because if you, do all what your parents say, or, your uncle says you have to do this or something, then you're not going to end up where you're supposed to end up. So just follow your heart, follow, what feels good. When you get to a campus, you'll know that it's meant to be.
I think I'm next, right? So my best advice is, I know that we're all pretty far away, but if you can, try to visit if possible. It's a really good way to kind of, you might feel a little magic when you step onto a campus, and sometimes that's sort of how I decided where to go. So I know that a lot of us probably will offer some kind of stipend to be able to travel. So we offer up to $1,500 to pay your flight off. So it makes it a lot more feasible to be able to do that. So I think that it's a really good way to sort of really see what campus is like.
My advice would be, if you're looking at studying in England, you need to do your research on the major that you want to study, because the English system doesn't have the same ability to change majors like the US system does. So you really need to understand what it means to study, say, pharmacology, because if that's what you apply for and you get onto the program, there isn't really a way to then change once you are studying. So use websites, use the information that's out there, and get to understand beyond just the title of the degree, because not pharmacology at one university, for example, is not the same at another university.
Yes, I kind of like echo what all my colleagues have mentioned. Definitely what Sarah mentioned too is take a deep breath, relax. I know your senior year is crazy and you have a lot of stuff going on, but take the time to self-care. Think about, you're going to find your college. We're here to help. And I tell students, reach out to the reps such as us. We're here to help you decipher this crazy madness. Sometimes it can be, that way, but we're here to help you out. And again, visit campus if you can. That's definitely a thing I would echo.
Thank you very much. A question came in the Q&A. What my advice would be for students going through the college search process, if you have questions like, should I take AP courses my junior year? What do you all look at in the admissions process? All these great people are ready to interact with you, so go ahead and contact them, have conversations with them about their schools, their process. Don't be scared. That's my piece of advice. Reach out and talk to them. This does bring us to the end of our session. So we want to again thank all of our panelists for being here and certainly thank all of our attendees for joining us. Before we do end this session, just a few quick last minute housekeeping items. First is that when you close this window, you will receive a very quick 5-question survey that we ask that you complete. Again, there is one other block of sessions this evening, so if you haven't signed up for those yet, please do so. And a recording of this session will be available at strivescan.com/COSI. But thank you again to everybody and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.